In this video, we will explore the MyConstruct ordering and the request for quote systems. Before we get started, it is important to explain how orders and quote requests differ from other areas in MyConstruct. Unlike the other areas of MyConstruct, when we manage our orders or manage RFQ, short for request for quote, you will notice there is no create option like the rest of MyConstruct. This is because orders and requests for quotes are based on inventory items that we've added when creating our estimates. Let's cover the ordering system first and come back to the RFQ system after. In the Manage Orders section, you'll notice there's already jobs here. These jobs have an active estimate assigned to them, and the orders are all based off inventory items which have been added to the estimates from our estimate builder. Just like the other areas of MyConstruct, our jobs can be filtered and searched from this page. If you do not see any jobs here, they will show once you've created some estimate. The top menu here shows our order status, total dollar values of orders, and the number of orders which are ready to send along with the ready to send versus sent totals. Let's look at a set of orders and I'll explain how it all works. Inside we have another table which shows all our orders in queue, which as previously mentioned is based on the items contained in the estimate. As you can see, the columns indicate the cost center and supplier. These will create an order which is grouped by the items within the cost center that share the same supplier. The amount column shows the total value of the purchase order based on the total of items cost, followed by the order date, resent date, order number, and status. The View button allows us to preview the order before sending it, or using the drop-down we can send the individual order. There's also an option below to simply mark the order as sent. You can use this for orders which don't require MyConstruct to send on your behalf, such as phone orders or cash purchases. The Send All button allows us to send batches of orders which can be grouped via the cost center or the work stage of the estimate. For this video, I'm simply going to send a single order. After clicking Send, you'll notice the order status updates to say our order is in the sending queue. MyConstruct will place it in the system mailing queue, which usually only takes a moment to send, but can sometimes take a couple minutes based on the overall system email queue at the time. We can simply refresh the page to see the status update to sent once the queue has been processed, or just continue on and the status will update in the background whilst we keep working. Now we've sent an order, I'm going to show how easy it is to create another order from this estimate by simply going back into my estimate builder and adding some more inventory items to the estimate. Let's select a cost center which has some inventory items added in the estimate builder below. Here you can see the items which I've used to create an estimate earlier. Most items have a supplier assigned. These will be able to be used to produce purchase orders as we know the item, quantity, and purchase price, so they can simply be transferred into purchase orders and sent off via the ordering system as I've just demonstrated earlier. If I add a new item to this estimate and set the quantity and supplier, then navigate back to the ordering system, you will see a new order is ready to be sent. Now that is the ordering system covered, let's take a look at the request for quote system. RFQ are based off the estimate just like orders. The other items here do not have a supplier set, so instead of being orders, they will be treated as an RFQ, since we'll need to send these items out to our chosen supplier or trade as a request for quote. There are two ways to request a quote. Firstly, we can use the drop-down at the top of the page and select Request for Quote. Several options are available for us to request quotes, including cost centers, work stages, or the entire estimate. We can send the quote to selected suppliers or our default cost center suppliers. The second way to request quotes is to select each individual item in a cost center using the checkboxes and select the Multi-Select button and request quote. We then select a supplier and press Send RFQ. Now, if we go to Manage RFQ, we can see the request we just sent. This table on Manage RFQ shows a list of jobs that have had requests sent out to suppliers. It shows some of the job and estimate details and the number of requests sent. Clicking the View button will take us into the job to view each request. This table shows the cost center and the supplier the request has been sent for, the request, received dates, and the current status. If we click the View button on the right, we can see the full request. Once a quote has been received, we can mark it off using the drop-down box on the right and clicking Mark as Quote Received. Now we can go back to our estimate and enter in the details our supplier has sent us in the form of a quote. This brings us to the end of our ordering and RFQ system. Remember to check out videos on estimating in this series, as the orders and RFQs are all reliant on the estimating system. Check out the MyConstruct knowledge base for even more information around these modules, and more at help.myconstruct.com.